So what's going on, guys? My name is MrDalekJD, and today we're going to be talking about the prospect of what the DLC 4 Zombies map could be like and where it could be set. Now I know what you're going to say, Dalek, we've not even had DLC 3 yet, we've not even got an announcement of it, why are you talking about DLC 4 so soon? Well, we know DLC 3 is 100% going to be Stalingrad, just everything lines up, makes sense for that to happen in terms of the story, so we can get onto the final map. And that's where things are really exciting, because we've not got any clues within the game, no hidden ciphers, nothing in Richthofen's Shadows of Evil scrap to suggest a coordinate, so we really have no idea. Now this of course is just a theory, so this is not 100% confirmed or anything like that, just a theory. We're going to be using evidence from Black Ops 3 and stuff that Treyarch are using to base this story. Now this actually comes from a Reddit post on the Call of Duty Zombies Reddit. This is posted by Thomas CMH, so big shout out to you, my man. You can check out the full thread down below in the description, and he makes a point about the fourth DLC possibly being in Egypt, and since then there's been a lot of talk about a Zombies map being in Egypt. Now first of all, people have been wanting for the longest time for a Zombies map to be set in Egypt. It's something that I think everyone's wanted ever since World at War / Black Ops 1. It'd be such an epic setting for a Zombies map, so much so that people faked loading screens of an Egyptian Zombies map before Black Ops 3 even came out. Now there are a few hints within Call of Duty Zombies that we can look at which does reference Egyptian sort of themes, which could be related to a map that we see. Now Jason Blundell is working on Zombies, of course, and he's had this entire storyline planned out since before the release of Origins. He knew full well how the story was going to start and how exactly it was going to end. And with that being said, Origins sort of gave us an ending that we're working towards and will be fully explained. So looking at that Origins end cutscene, there is a lot of items from previous Zombies maps that match up and relate to our entire story, including stuff like the golden rod from Call of the Dead, the buried zombie, the ascension rocket, the Panzer Soldat. We even see the airplane from Zetsubou no Shima on a shelf. And right above that said shelf, we have a really strange sort of scribble on the wall, which is actually the Eye of Horus. Now there's a little bit of controversy if this actual symbol on the wall is the Eye of Horus. Some people do see the Eye of Horus, some people see a biplane as well, and it's weird because some people say they can see the strings actually holding this biplane up on the wall, but some other people say it doesn't look like the Eye of Horus, but it also doesn't look like a biplane. It's really hard to describe. For the basis of this little theory video alone, we're going to say that this is the Eye of Horus. Now with everything in this room, we've seen it at some point or another within Zombies. If not, we definitely will see it, which means that we're definitely going to see this Eye of Horus at some point within Call of Duty Zombies with Black Ops 3. Now in ancient Egyptian history, this Eye of Horus is also known as the all-seeing eye. The symbol is frequently used in jewelry to ensure the safety and health of the bearer and provide wisdom and prosperity, but it also was known as the Eye of Ra, a powerful destructive force linked with the fierce heat of the sun, which was described as the daughter of Ra. Now, the eye was believed to have healing and protective power, and it was used as a protective amulet, and it's also used as a notation of measurement. Now this symbol was actually divided into 6 parts, representing the shattering of Horus's eye into 6 pieces. Each piece was associated with one of the 6 senses and a specific fraction. Now this has already got my senses tingling with the ideas that Treyarch could play with the kind of Egyptian history of this Eye of Horus, especially with it being split into 6 pieces and each piece associating with a sense. Whatever this Eye of Horus represents, it's definitely something we're going to see at some point within the storyline, otherwise it wouldn't be in Samantha's bedroom. So that's a really strong point, making this Egyptian map seem more real. Now another point that Thomas makes in his post is that the story of Black Ops 3, specifically this story arc, is definitely based on the lore of H.P. Lovecraft. We can definitely see that alone from Shadows of Evil. That map specifically seems to be based off a short story by H.P. Lovecraft called Call of Cthulhu. I've said in countless videos before that the Shadow Man is Nyarlathotep from the stories, and it definitely wouldn't be crazy for Treyarch to continue this H.P. Lovecraft lore fest by introducing another story, and H.P. Lovecraft actually wrote a book called Imprisoned with the Pharaohs. The story is about Houdini being kidnapped by his tour guide on a trip to Egypt and being thrown into a deep pit. Now get ready for how crazy this bit sounds. So after dreaming of spectacular horrors, Houdini awakens at the bottom of the pit and eventually manages to free himself from the ropes. Suspecting that he's somewhere in a temple under the giant Sphinx of Giza, he travels through the dark in an attempt to find an exit, following what he believes to be a draft from outdoors. Instead, he actually heads further underground, eventually falling down a flight of stairs and landing in a large cavern, where he witnesses an army of half-man, half-animal mummies led by the ancient Egyptian pharaohs Khephren and Nitocris, leaving offerings to a hippopotamus-sized, 5-headed tentacle beast that appears from a hole deep in the hall. Now, most of our zombies are one-headed zombies, but Shadows of Evil introduced Margwas with 3 heads, and there's nothing saying that they couldn't go even one step further with a crazy 5-headed tentacle beast. Now, that last bit does sound a little bit far-fetched, but it is interesting because Treyarch really do seem to be basing this story off of H.P. Lovecraft, and to follow that tradition and kind of relate it again with another one of his stories would be extremely interesting to see their take on things. They've already delved with Call of Cthulhu, and then on a separate note with Zetsubou no Shima, they've looked completely at the kind of weird history behind Pompeii and the sort of ancient craziness that occurs with that island. Now, last but definitely not least, we're going to look at the original teaser trailer for Black Ops 3. If you guys remember this was called Back in Black, and it was literally just a kind of look of the main soldier on the cover, but it was written with words, and it was really, really cool. And then there's one single frame where you can see a coordinate that leads to Cairo, which is 30 minutes away from the pyramids of Giza that was mentioned in H.P. Lovecraft's story. And funnily enough, in the exact same frame with those coordinates, you can also see the numbers 115 and 935, as well as the mark of the beast from Shadows of Evil. Now, if you were to say to me with just that little bit of evidence alone that, oh, we're getting an Egyptian zombies map because it had a little coordinate in the trailer, I would have gone to you, that's crazy talk. This is literally just talking about campaign missions and campaign locations. It's nothing big. But when you see also 115 and 935 on the screen at the exact same time, as well as the mark of the beast, surely all of that has to be related. Now, even I'm not fully convinced by that last bit talking about the campaign and the coordinates, but there's one little additional thing we're going to point out, which is very, very interesting. And Glitching Queen actually made this relevant in a recent video, so big shout out to her for actually taking this image. But if we look at the Shadows of Evil mural that we can see in the Pack-a-Punch room, it's not very clear to make out every little bit of detail. We've had this since the game launched, and it's still quite hard to actually make out individual little details. But Glitching Queen has gone ahead and put this in Photoshop, drawn around it and coloured in, and it's really brought this image to life. The colours are popping, you can just see loads and loads of little individual details. So this is an epic battle taking place right now, which we believe to be during the time of Primus, because we see our 4 characters with wielding origin staffs, and they have the keeper icons on their chests, just like they do in the Primus image, and we seem to have like an epic battle between good and bad versus the good versus the Apothicans and the zombies. We can see the Margwa, this crazy tentacle monster, which could be related to that story we talked about a little bit earlier with H.P. Lovecraft. But if we look in the top left where we see the good side, there's a really strange little object which we've not seen before, and to me that looks a lot like a pyramid. Not just your ordinary pyramid though, it seems to have some weird claws on the top of it, but that definitely looks like a pyramid shape, almost looks like it has stairs in front of it. Everything we're seeing here is represented in the zombie storyline in some way, shape or form in some time, so there has to have been a point where we will see or have seen this little pyramid structure. Another thing that crossed my mind also when thinking about the zombie story is the MPD is a pyramid. Now that could just be a pure coincidence, or it could actually lead into tying in quite well with the idea of an Egyptian map at some point. And whilst we're on the topic of this pyramid, if we go back to when Black Ops 3 was revealed, Black Ops 3 Zombies that is, with Shadows of Evil, Syndicate uploaded the reveal trailer and he flashed a weird Easter egg in that video. That image was of a pyramid being held up by weird tentacles floating in the sky, which actually linked to a song called Holy Mountain by the Ancient Astronauts, and their album artwork was this pyramid being floated up by tentacles. And it's really weird because we've not seen this actually link into anything in Zombies so far, but there's obviously a reason why he put that Easter egg in all the way back then, and who knows, it could actually relate to what our 4th DLC map could be. And like I mentioned at the start of the video, JD Jason Blundell has had this all planned out before Origins was even released. There's been tons of time from then until now to fully plan all this out, and this little hint all the way back from a year ago could be something to look out for. The strongest evidence I'd say in this video is without a doubt the Eye of Horus that we see on Samantha's wall above the shelf. It has to be related and something that we'll see at some point before this story is over. Now, I've wanted to say this for a long time, that was just a theory. A game theory. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of all of this? Do you think this leads to the fact that we could be seeing a map set in Egypt for DLC 4? Or do you think it's just a load of absolute baloney? Or would you like to see a DLC map take place in Egypt, even if you're not quite convinced that the DLC 4 map could be set in Egypt? I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions, and if you enjoyed the video, drop it a like rating, I really would appreciate it, and make sure to check out the Reddit thread down below in the description and give it a thumbs up and leave some nice supportive feedback on there for this theory. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe for more awesome videos like this. We just want some details about DLC 3, man, so speculation is just something really fun to do and to sort of get the hype train going whilst we wait. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you on another one soon.